So, personal shift, we usually all go through them at some point or another. We just went through one ourselves with Tropical Storm, Cat 1, Debby. And usually we are challenged in our skills and use our preps in different manners. And usually also we will find out real quick any holes that we have or anything with our preps that we may need. And let's see, what did we find with this one? We need a boat. So guys, welcome back. I first want to start out by saying that I am praying for everyone that's been in the path of the storm. People have been way worse off than us and continue as it moved up. I am praying for you guys. We are blessed. I'll talk a little bit of how everything went, but I'm praying for everybody that's been in the path of this in this season. This storm was weird. I don't know any life any different without hurricanes. I've been through all the way up to Cat 4, many, I can't even count. That's all I've known since birth. I've always lived on the coast. And sorry for my throat, my voice. We had a little cold, also a head cold going through. But so let's just start. The storm wasn't bad. The storm itself, I mean, like I say, it wasn't a big deal when the storm was here. It rained a lot. In the wind, it wasn't, I mean, it felt like a tropical storm. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a big deal. I think we lost power total for maybe 13 hours or so, 13, 14 hours. Wasn't bad. And after the storm kind of, the worst of it was past and we were back outside, there was hardly any water. I mean, we didn't see anything that looked like that. So for several hours it was like that. We were just kind of looking because there were some limbs down and things like that. And we have these old, we call them plantation oaks, old, hundreds and hundreds of years old oak trees. And usually what happens with those is some of the branches will get waterlogged, and then later, that day later, a couple days later, if it gets windy afterwards, they'll fall. So we were kind of assessing that. We were outside looking at things, and been a couple hours, and then I went to go back outside in our garden area. You saw it in some of the pictures. You could see water bubbling and coming up, rapidly rising. It was groundwater. It was coming up because we have aquifers and everything down here. It was rapidly it wasn't coming in towards us. It wasn't rain that had collected, and it's just the way it does, especially in Florida and different things. And it was coming up rapidly, like I had never seen it. I mean, you could see it just coming up and rushing to you. So I went, got inside, and got Huckleberry. I said, the garden's flooding, like it's bubbling and moving quickly, like how a spring. If you ever been to springs, and we swim in springs all the time, that you can see it underneath the water coming up. So that was like 7 or 8 o'clock. The storm had already been gone for a couple hours. And that continued in different areas of the property. It continued, and it kept moving up. And it was moving fast enough that you could see it come up and come towards you. Like I've never seen that here before. Never. I've never had that happen. And so, we thought, okay, we're going to watch it. It can't come that much, right? It's been gone. And so we, assessed the situation. Made sure, the animals, we were checking on them or whatever, and all that was dry. We prayed, getting up being late at night, and, we were praying about it. We saw how much it was coming in, and I thought, well, that's getting a little, coming up a little close, but not awful. But I said, we're going to get up and check it. We'll probably get up every couple hours, and we'll check. So we prayed about it. We prayed about it because that's our family. That's what we do, and our faith, and but let us sleep. And I just thought, and it came to my mind about how when there was that big storm and Jesus slept in the boat, he was just like, though with little faith, he went to sleep. So we went to sleep. About 2:30, I woke up and I thought, okay, while I'm up, I'll go check the water. It was up to the house. And when I say it was up to the house, it was at the bottom step of our steps out front, and it was covering the back. There's some pictures. You can see one in there, and you can see it up. There's a gate, chain link fence, and a gate. That's where it was when I saw it. And I watched it for a little bit, and I kind of assessed the situation. I woke up Huckleberry, and I said, it's rising like a lot, like many feet. It's rising quickly. And so from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., it was rapidly rising. And that was in that moment, those couple hours, when I thought, oh my gosh, this is about to be really bad. It's the middle of the night. But I will say, the power had already come back on. It had come back on and stuff. We had power. And before the flooding started, the power had come back on. So that was a blessing. We had that. But then I kind of thought, well, what did they turn all this power on? And here we are flooding with all this electricity and different things, power, out in the barns, in the workshop, things like that, and the water's coming in. So we were assessing, and we were like, and there was that part, Huckleberry and I thought, we prayed and had peace and went on to sleep without worry, even though the water was coming in quickly. We had peace about it, and we were both kind of like, Lord, we prayed. And I kind of felt like that 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., I was kind of like, it was one of those things, like the water felt like it's rising, and I just kind of felt like, I was like, but do you trust me? Because I was kind of getting like antsy, like we need a game plan right now, like, because I don't know how to get out at this point, because the way our land's laid out, you can't see, there's no neighbors, you can't, no road or anything. And I was getting a little antsy. I have children, and this is not what they expected from this. There wasn't any like, oh, y'all need to get out, evacuate, or anything like that. It was very, very strange. And I have run through, can't even count how many hurricanes on this land. Nothing like this has ever happened. And so we were antsy. At about 5, it stopped rising, and it was about 6 inches from getting into one part of the house. I thought, don't even anybody make a wave out anywhere in this water, because it'll come in the house. And it stayed. It stopped right there. And we were just kind of, I think we ended up sleeping a little bit, because we were taking naps on and off. And that's how it is when things like this happen, or sleeping in. And we've talked about in the shift, when it happens, you may have to sleep in shifts with people, because we were watching, and the kids were fine, and we don't get excited, so the kids don't get, they need to know they're safe, but aware of situations. And they were sleeping, and they had just happened to have, 2 of my kiddos had a head cold. So we have this head cold, we have this storm, the power went out, now we have flooding, and that's just the way it goes. So, but we did not come in the house. We were blessed. I can say, you go through your grateful list when things happen. None of us got hurt. It didn't get in the house. All of my animals, survived, and they're all fine. Now the cleanup damage is going to be for a long time, but it's not, again, there's so many people who lost everything. There's 3-4 feet of water in their house. They've lost, everything. It's really bad. So now I will say, you can see in some of the pictures, my entire garden is gone. Everything we had growing, you cannot eat things, consume things, or keep anything that has been through floodwaters. That is extremely dangerous. You don't wade around in floodwaters. I mean, we have waders and stuff when we had to go out there. As you can see in one of the pictures, there's a red circle around something. The gators, there was one humongous gator. He was over 8 foot. He was a humongous gator. Was trying to get, that fence he's at is our backyard to the back pasture, and he was out there, and he was doing his little purr growl, letting us know, I guess he was trying to claim his territory. He was out there, and he tried to come up the gate. If you've ever seen how gators work, they will climb over fences, and he was humongous. So we had to assess that situation. We had a smaller one over in a side pasture, and that has happened before. We've had gators up here before. Gators and snakes, that's what it is in Florida. But they ended up going on. They'll follow the water out. It has receded a ton. Like, it's nothing compared. There's a couple lower spots on the land that still are holding a good amount of water. But, I mean, really, we're blessed. Yes, we lost everything in our garden. That has to be destroyed and taken away. You just can't consume things like that from floodwaters. Tremendous amount of bacteria and issues. You just can't do that. So I got tons of emails. I was getting stuff, and I couldn't get on. And while I'm making this video, who knows how long it'll take to upload. Speaking of that, about my internet situation, and I had tons of people emailing. I haven't been on really to answer that, asking how we were, how are we doing. Let us know you're okay. We are okay. Truly, we're blessed, and we truly are. I mean, it could have been so much worse, and for so many, it was so much worse. And my heart goes to you guys. Is the internet situation? How I talked, and I was trying to do that Sunday chat, and then I uploaded a video on that same day, and it took literally like 15 hours to upload like a 9-minute video. And we've never had issues. We've never had issues with the internet service out here. There's 3 providers that would provide for internet out here. We've been dealing with that, and then they said, "Oh, we don't offer it there anymore." Even the one we had, it said, "Oh, they said we won't hold you to your contract. Those towers, we have issues." We've talked to them on and off. It was always a little something different. We have issues with those towers. They're going to do maintenance on those towers. The towers are no longer servicing your area. Really weird things. 3 different ones, and we were just kind of like, well, what are we going to do? I mean, Huckleberry works remote. He has for many years, and we have to have that. And for me to do anything like this, I would have to have that. And so yesterday, we were still, and I guess there's this service thing, and they kind of say, the 3 that were available out here are no longer available for us. And then we're like, it's worked perfect for many years, and the one we had has worked perfect for a year, and now all of a sudden it's not available. And the 2 other ones that were available, we thought, okay, we'll switch to one of those. They're no longer available for this area. And not just my address, like this, there's a certain rural area. They're not available anymore. And I just could not make sense of that. That was just bizarre to me. And so last night, or yesterday evening, there's like this service, and they can say, they'll run like a ping something. So like, I'm not a tech person, and say, these are the ones that will reach, your area, and this is what you have. So it was on the phone. Huckleberry was on the phone, and they were doing it, and they said, oh, well, the only thing that's available for that rural area now is Starlink. And that was immediately a red flag. To me it was. Maybe it's not to you, but I just thought, so the 3 providers that did work in these rural areas no longer do. The towers are already there. They've been there working, but they no longer service in these areas. But Starlink is the only one that will now. That was bizarre to me. It just was. That just was kind of a red flag to me about where things may be going. I don't know. You put what you think in there about it, but that was weird. So we have to have something. So we're working on that, but it takes, like, we had to order the equipment. It's a mess, and it is 3 times more than what the service we were paying for, but it's the only thing that's available. They said it could take up to 2 weeks. And so that is in the works. I will keep you posted if that works. If it comes, in and it's working fine, I will go back to my regular lives I do. I miss you guys on Sunday chat and stuff like that, and I'll be uploading more. And I have some kind of lives I had been asked to do with other people. I will get to that as long as everything pans out with that, and I will keep you posted. But I wanted to let you know about there are personal shift, and that happens. We have to be ready. Besides the water when flooding things come in with flooding, people want to bark at you, and I said, you can't. Same thing with like wildfires or different things they do. You can evacuate. You can have boats and stuff like that. You can, or do whatever. You can ride it out. You can, whatever the situation is. But you can't. That's not something you can buy a prep, and it's going to keep the waters aren't going to come up. And then people will say, oh, you should have had sandbags and these flotation. It's groundwater. In this area, it's ground. It comes up. It wasn't bullying. It would come up behind all of that type of stuff. So that type of stuff happens. I will go and also say, for many years, Huckleberry and I, and plenty of other people have been saying it also, we said with very rural people, we said they're going to burn us out or they're going to flood us out. And I did. We both were like, oh, well, here we go. Because if you watch Ryan Hall, y'all, several like really good weather channels, are not as much like how the news weather people act. They said something, this is weird. This doesn't seem naturally occurring how they do. And yes, there's like 100-year storms, 500-year type storms or floods. And then they said, oh, this is a 1 in 1,000-year type storm. It was very strange, and it's making, like I said, I don't know life without hurricanes, so they don't make me excited. I just don't know the difference. I mean, it's just part of, life living coastal. And I've only ever lived on the coast. It was just odd. It was very strange. And all the old timers that are around here, that have been here for all these generations as well, They just said it was weird. And it was an older guy. He said, "There's nothing natural anymore in this world, and these storms aren't natural either." Old timer around here, so a lot of people are recognizing that, especially if this is all you've known and you've recognized things. It was just strange. So keep those things in mind, because and we do what we can. We do what we can, and we trust God with the rest, and that's what we had to do. And then we tweak. There's things that we have to tweak out here, and we have a lot of cleanup, coming up for a long time. Huckleberry's bees, they survived. He was out there in waders with the gators going to check on his bees. I will say that. And I stood back with the camera and I thought, okay, go. But he's a Florida guy himself. That's where he's always been. So I wanted to share it with you guys. Thank all of you for your prayers and thoughts. I'm praying for everyone else as well. And I will keep you posted about the internet situation. And so until next time, everyone stay well, God bless, and I will see you next time.